गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute, verse number 24. So, very important verse with a big purport. Okay. Avyaktam vyaktim āpannaṁ manyante mamāvyayam param bhāvam ajānanto mamāvyayam anuttamam avyaktam vyaktim āpannaṁ
avyaktam vyaktim āpannam
manyante mam abuddhayaḥ
manyante mamāvyayam
param bhāvam ajānanto
bhāvam ajānanto
mamāvyayam anuttamam
mamāvyayam anuttamam
avyaktam vyaktim āpannaṁ
avyaktam vyaktim āpannam
manyante mam abuddhayaḥ
manyante mamāvyayam
param bhāvam ajānanto
bhāvam ajānanto
mamāvyayam anuttamam
mamāvyayam anuttamam avyaktam vyaktim āpannam avyaktam vyaktim āpannam manyante mamāvyayam anuttamam mamāvyayam anuttamam avyaktam vyaktim āpannam avyaktam vyaktim āpannam manyante mamāvyayam param bhāvam ajānanto mamāvyayam anuttamam
avyaktam vyaktim āpannam
avyaktam vyaktim āpannam
manyante mam abuddhayaḥ
manyante mamāvyayam
param bhāvam ajānanto
param bhāvam ajānanto
mamāvyayam anuttamam
mamāvyayam anuttamam
ओके आपको करना बोलना है दिख नहीं रहा है ओके नो प्रॉब्लम वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग अव्यक्तम
avyaktam
नॉन मैनिफेस्टेड
non-manifested
व्यक्तिम
vyaktim
पर्सनालिटी आपनम
āpannaṁ
अचीव्ड मन्यन्ते थिंक माम मी अबुदयः लेस इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन्स परम सुप्रीम भावम एग्जिस्टेंस अजानन्तः without knowing mam my avyayam imperishable anuttamam the finest. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Purport: those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Kṛṣṇa in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Yāmunācārya, a great devotee of the Lord in the disciplic succession of Rāmānujācārya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, Tvam Shīla Rupa Charitahe Parama Prakashtate Satvena Satvika Taya Pralabalescha Shastrahe Prakhayata Deva Parma Artha Vidam Matescha Naiva Asura Vanti Bodham. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasdev and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities, and one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non-devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However expert such non-devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and the Upanishads and other Vedic literatures, it is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. Stotra Ratna 12. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by study of the Vedanta literature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can the personality of the Supreme be known. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only are the worshippers of the demigods less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation of Vedic literature without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as abuddhayaḥ, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized super soul, but the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great predecessor, Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think Kṛṣṇa to be only the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or a prince or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Avajananti mam mudhaḥ manusim tanum ashritam. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Kṛṣṇa without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam 10:14-29 confirms this. Athapi te deve padam bhujadvai prasada leshanugrahita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanne eko api chiram vichanvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you. Even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, or his form, quality, or name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then only can one understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotee impersonalists think that Kṛṣṇa has a body made of this material nature, that all his activities, his form and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. The 28th verse clearly states, Kāmaisthirte ritagyanah prapadyanti anna devataha. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender unto the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets, and the Lord also has a planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Deva Yajo Yanti Mad Bhakta Yanti Mam Api. The worshippers of the demigods go to the different planets of the demigods, and those who are devotees of Lord Kṛṣṇa go to the Kṛṣṇa Loka planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and their abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and the demigods have theirs. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigods and the form of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Kṛṣṇa is Satchit Ananda, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Anandmayo Abhyasat, or by nature full of blissful pleasure, and that he is the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is Aja, unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna has both form and personality. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's a very nice purport explaining that God is not formless. Because people in the material world are fed up and they have their own logic. They say material and spiritual are extreme opposite. If there are forms in the material world, it means the spiritual world will be formless. There should be no form. This is their logic. And it seems logical also, yeah. It should be totally opposite. But it doesn't work like that. So once there was a big religious conference gathering in Chicago, USA, around 1898. And one guy, Swami, he went there with his turban, trying to represent the Vedic culture, but he was not. And then when he came to speak with the turban and he was a personality. And what he said, why all have you gathered here to speak about God? How to worship God in different ways? Don't you know you are all God? And when he said that, the Christians there, they wanted to protest because they never heard like that we can be God. And it was a huge thing, but he was so clever, he was going round and round and round, but not making a point and saying, we are formless and we are God. So, he was very clever and still people follow him blindly, but they all will be called as abuddhayaḥ, unintelligent. Krishna labels them as unintelligent. Although they have photos everywhere in public places, but still unintelligent. So once there was a guru, a Mayavadi guru, and he was teaching his student that aham brahmasmi, we are all one and we are God. And after intense study, research and tapasya, the disciple said, yes Guru, finally I have now realized that I am the unlimited, the formless, the all-pervading God. The Guru said, wow, very nice. This is the whole aim of our research. So now go outside and go for your pilgrimage and preach this philosophy that we are all God. हम सब भगवान हैं. हम सब भूल चुके हैं. Maya ने, the Maya has covered us, our real understanding that we are God. So with danda, he went and to spread this understanding. So on the way he was crossing a village and there was a huge chaos. Everybody was running here and there and looking for shelter. Why? Because one mad elephant was destroying everything coming in its way. And the person who was driving the elephant, he was saying, people go away, this elephant has gone mad, he will kill. So don't come in his way. But this newly realized disciple, he said, why should I go away? I am God. And if I am God, the elephant should make way for me. So holding his danda, he stood erect. Let him come. And the elephant came in front of him. The guy was standing with his danda. Elephant looked at him, took his trunk and holded him and smashed him on the ground 10 to 20 times and threw him away on the side. His hand was broken, all bruised up. He said, what happened? I am God, so how I am getting beaten up? Then he went to his Guruji. Guruji, we just realized that we are all God, and I also realized I am God. But how can I be beaten by an elephant? And Guruji said, oh, what happened? Explain to me. Then he said, the driver on the top of the elephant, he was also God, and that God was telling you, move aside. So you should have listened to him. So as per this philosophy, it leads to chaos. Everybody is God. So he will say that this we should do like this, he will say we should do like this. But there is no proper, understanding who is the real God. And that's why people get cheated and they get beaten up. So Maya beats them by making them go more in the ignorance. Because duskritana, they are duskrit, they want to reject the form of the Lord. They are envious of the form of the Lord. And that's why they are bereft of the real essence of the Vedic literature. Although they read Vedanta, but still they don't understand the essence of Vedanta. Vedanta krit vedavit evacham. Kṛṣṇa says the whole essence of Vedanta is to understand Kṛṣṇa. But they understand everything except Kṛṣṇa. So what's the point of reading their Vedanta? So Srila Prabhupada says that to accept God as a man and to accept man as a God, this is called rascaldom. Those who do like this, that God is just like a man, a beautiful man, a very famous man, this is rascaldom. And to take anyone, any man, oh, he is God, oh, because he fulfills our desires, that is also rascaldom. This is all rascaldom. Prabhupada says, this is how you can recognize and differentiate between people. These are rascals and these are sober. Those who accept the form of the Lord and they worship him as servant, they are genuine. They are very intelligent, so medasa. And these are rascals. Even though they are PhD holders in big university, but still they are rascals. Rascal number one. So, it's interesting that Christianity, although now it's difficult for them, they were initially personalist. They were all accepting that there is demigods and the different demigods. We hear that Hercules, powerful man, rain, they had demigods for rain and everything. But then they got challenged to where do they stay? And they didn't have any information. But to beat these arguments, they said, oh, all these demigods are roaming in the sky. The heaven is in the sky. So now what happened? They said like this, but everybody accepted, oh, heaven, they are in the sky. But an aeroplane got discovered. And everybody started flying in the sky. And they came down and said, we didn't see any apsaras, we didn't see any demigods. This is all lies. And then they got challenged again. And again they needed to defend. And they said, oh, this is just an reference. There are no so-called personalities. God is all-loving, all-pervading. So they also turned in from personalism to impersonalism. Why? Because they were speculating and trying to defend their faith through speculation. But we never do that. We have bona fide Shastra. We have everything. If somebody asks how God looks, we can say how God looks. We can show how God looks. Go in the altar, you will see the beautiful form. What is his name? Kṛṣṇa. What is his parents' name? We can tell that also. Where is his address? Goloka Vrindavan. See, we can tell everything. What he likes, favorite friend, who is his girlfriend, who is his wife. We can say everything because we have everything. And there is no area for speculation. There is no area for speculation. But Christianity, due to their incomplete understanding, they were giving such vague answers and they were getting caught again and again by this scientific research. And by just defeating this few so-called Christianity, the scientists thought, oh, we are so proud. But when they come across the real, genuine Kṛṣṇa consciousness, Vaishnava culture, they all get defeated. We hear the conversation of Srila Prabhupada, how he was smashing all these nonsense people again and again, giving them so many arguments. Oh, you think man came from monkeys and chimpanzees? So why they are not getting converted now? The chimpanzees still exist, but they are not converting or evolving themselves into man. or humans. So this is all bogus theories. All result of impersonalism. But impersonalism is now a worldview. People don't believe that God has a form. They will think, oh, how can you limit God in a form? He's all pervading. But Prabhupada gives a very nice analogy, just like a businessman. He's alone, he's in his office, but his influence is present throughout the company, to his instruction, to his workers. Things get done the way he wants to be done. He is not present personally, but through his energies, he's making things done. So similarly, when people say, oh, how can God can be limited? God is not limited. He has so many energies. Internal energy, external energy, Bhairanga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. And through these energies, he manages the whole affairs, the spiritual world and the material world. He doesn't need to be present in the material world to get things done. Maya Dekshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Under my guidance, this Prakriti, Maya, material world, it works. He doesn't have to be involved directly. Everything gets done indirectly through him. But now this is a worldview. People say why the planet is moving in orbit. They say there is no person. The magnetic field, they hold the planets in particular distance. And this is why they is revolving. They are not ready to accept that there is a person. Sankarshan, when we say gravity, why don't say Sankarshan? But no, they want to reject. I was seeing one video where a school teacher asked small boys around 4th and 5th standard, oh, who is holding this planet Earth? And one guy said, oh, yes, the magnetic field in the space is holding and this and that. But this guy, another guy who has heard from Bhagavatam, he said, Masterji, this guy is saying wrong. He's wrong. The earth is holded by Sankarshan. He's holding that. And this guy is speaking wrong. And the master said, hey, chup, chup, you are saying wrong. Stupid person. How can Sankarshan? Who is Sankarshan? There is no mention of Sankarshan. And then he went home and he said to his mother, Mother, I won't go to school. The Masterji has gone mad. The Masterji has gone mad. So, this is the modern education. That's why Prabhupada says, slaughterhouses. Modern education has slaughterhouses. Why? Because they destroy any remnant of God consciousness, which is coming in a child naturally, but they all get destroyed with time. And that's the whole essence of the education, to make you forget who you are. And the real position is to serve God. And they destroy that serving tendency by developing enjoying tendency. Become an engineer, become a doctor, become a this and that. Why? So that you are controlling, you are enjoying on your own. So once, like recently we were discussing few devotees, like why a man has to go to job? Why should he work outside in a company for 12 hours, 13 hours? Recently one CEO was saying people should work for 90 hours a week, which means 13 hours a day, including Sundays. But why should a man work? Because previously education was for free. There was no fees for school and colleges. And they were getting education freely. Just to give education to their children, people started living their natural lifestyle, which is from farm. And they started working as a Shudra in companies. Like I was at a toll station, I was seeing people, they were selling chips and everything. And they were jumping on buses and risking their lives just to get 10 to 20 rupees. And they are all just local villagers. They can stay in village, do their farming. But just this concept that you have to send your children to school and education and give them this material nonsense, only then they can survive. This faith that they have put, this brainwashing that has happened, has made them switch from natural living, from the farm, to the Shudra living. And they all want to move to cities. And they are encouraging their children, go to cities, Naam Roshan Karo, right? But education should be free. Why he has to work? It's a simple arrangement. But now it's all messed up. That's why slaughterhouse. You go, send your children to people who you don't know who they are. What's their nature? Are they demonic? Are they atheistic? Or they impersonal? And they spend 6 to 7 hours with such people. And that's why they get brainwashed, and that's why they get out of control. Prabhupada wanted that children in Krishna consciousness should be taught by devotees. The parents should take the responsibility, not outsiders. And this impersonalism is currently a trend, and many people, just like Mayavadis, upgraded version of Buddhism, and they all reject the personal form. Buddhists say nothing exists, everything is shunya. And to come to that understanding, they go through intense tapasya. I was hearing that in one Buddhist monastery, if you want to join that, you have to go through some trial period. And what happens? They are sent to a remote mountains. And there is a cave. And the person is asked to go inside and stay there for 1 year. And they close the cave door. And there is an arrangement that water will come and grass will come. So they have to maintain themselves with water and grass and stay there alone without any personal touch. So most of them, they get their samadhi there only. Another category, they get crazy. So there's no point of taking them out, bring them out. They're already crazy. So they will be there only. And some of them, they get enlightened and they come outside. And they are as hard as stone. Because their process is full of negation. Full of negation. Material world, useless, nothing. Everything negating. But Srimad Bhagavatam tells you, when you see any beauty in this material world, you should see it as smile of Lord Krishna. Here comes the personal touch. Whatever beauty you see in the material world, it's smile of Krishna. Whatever attracts you, it's smile of Krishna. Because smile is attractive. When someone smiles, you get attracted, right? So in this material world, whatever is attractive, that is smile of Krishna. Now you see how there is a different perspective. A process of negation, a process of everything is mechanical, and using mundane logic and trying to conclude that there is no form. But behind everything in this material world, there is a personal aspect. If you see a beautiful painting, it doesn't happen automatically. There is a painter behind that. So similarly, there is a designer, there is a person who has his qualities given, who has his beauty given in that design. So that's why we have to understand. It's by logic that we can understand. But still, people are stupid and they don't even follow their predecessors. This is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. There's this modern impersonalists, they don't even follow their acharyas. Because Shankaracharya, who everybody knows as Vedantist, he accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sa Bhagavan Swayam Krishna Devaki Nandana. He said that. And he has written in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, he accepts Narayana para avyaktat. Krishna is the Supreme. Sa Bhagavan Narayana Krishna. He has accepted that. So, why his followers are not accepting that? There are many acharyas saying Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. Why others are not following? Same problem, enviousness, getting brainwashed. And they're proudly declaring themselves Vedantists, but they don't even know Veda and they don't even know Anta. That's their problem. And so Prabhupada says so-called Vedantists are loitering in the street here and there, but they don't know the essence of the Vedas. So, Acharyavan Purusho Veda, one who is Acharyavan, one who is following Acharya, he knows things as they are. So we are understanding the absolute truth through Acharya. This is our Vidhi, Shastra Vidhi. Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashna Sevaya Upadekshinti Jnanam Jnaninas Tattva Darshanina. So what is Tattva? The absolute truth is explained in three features. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And Bhagavan is the topmost feature which includes all the two features. But some people, when they are walking on the pathway, they see the mountain at a far distance, they say it's all cloudy. Mountain means it's all cloudy. And they come to conclusion, mountain is cloudy. The one who goes more further, they get access to get more closer to the mountain. They say, oh, this mountain is green with different plants. So many things are there. And when a person goes more closer in the mountain, you see, there's so many personalities, trees, monkeys, birds, humans. There's so many variety. So the more one gets closer to the mountain, he sees the reality. So similarly, the transcendentalist, they are the real transcendentalist, the one who has known the Bhagavan feature, who has realized the Bhagavan feature. And to realize that, you need adhikar. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Krishna says, you can know me only by becoming my devotee. By not going against me, by becoming my devotee. So those acharyas who are telling you, you are Krishna's servant rascal, they are the real acharyas. Now we have so many acharyas on the YouTube trending. This acharya, that acharya, like this, they have the hairstyle. But what's the point? It is not saying Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. What's the point if they are not concluding Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa? So these acharyas should be kicked. Should be kicked. And the real acharya should be followed. That's the vidhi. That's the vidhi. Because if God is formless, or if he is less in any other thing, how can he be complete whole? If everything has form here, how can he be less than a form? He cannot be formless. It's not possible. He should be greater than that form. He should have a form and should have a more better than that feature. That's why Krishna's feature includes Sat, Chit and Ananda. And this is his Vigraha, which is full of Sat, Chit and Ananda. And this is what we are getting through Bhagavad Gita, through Srila Prabhupada's mercy. And that's why every day we glorify him in Guru Puja and Samsara Dava. And the followers who are taking this knowledge, carrying this knowledge, they are also glorified. So that's why Prabhupada is saying in one lecture that try to understand Kṛṣṇa, how much powerful he is, how much strong he is, how beautiful he is, how learned, wise he is, and hear from him. The Shastras are there. Why you stop your business of Kṛṣṇa consciousness simply by saying that Kṛṣṇa is Nirakar? People just take the word and say, oh, Bhagavan to Nirakar hai, koi Akar nahi hai. They use the word Bhagavan, but then they say Nirakar hai. That's so stupid. They don't even know what word to use. So, Kṛṣṇa is not Nirakar. How he can be Nirakar? Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. But these philosophers, these impersonalists, this Mayavadi, they are so adamant, they don't agree. And Prabhupada has compared them to these two people. And Prabhupada says the story that one, they were two personalities and they were discussing how can one cut this cloth. Is it better it's convenient to cut through a knife or through scissor? So one was saying, oh, it's easy to cut with knife. It's easy to cut with a scissor. And they were arguing, no, knife is better, or scissor is better, knife is better, scissor is better. The knife person was a heavy person, and he said, if you don't agree with me that knife is a better weapon to cut the cloth, I will drown you in the river. But she says, no, scissor is the best. And the man took the scissor person and threw him in the river. And he didn't know how to swim. And he was drowning. And you know, when you are drowning, you come up 3 times. When he come first time, the person said, the knife person, if you say that knife is the best option, I will save you. I will save you. But this guy, no, I won't accept. Scissor is the best. Second time he came up. Accept that knife is the best. No, scissor is the best. And third time, the last time when he came, accept, he said. And by this showing scissor, he drowned. He drowned himself, but didn't accept it. And Prabhupada compared them to this impersonalist and Mayavadis. They are such foolish people. Abuddhayaḥ. It's clearly explained by Kṛṣṇa here. That the one who says that I didn't had form, I took this form, they are all abuddhayaḥ. Stupid people. But still they are not ready. And interestingly, these so-called philosophers, they use Bhagavad Gita to explain their nonsense philosophy. And Prabhupada chastised them that we want to speak nonsense. Speak your nonsense. Why are you dragging Gita into that? Why? Only one reason, because Gita is famous and nobody will listen to your nonsense unless you use Gita. So he compared to such philosophers to a person who uses his friend's hand to smoke ganja. So A person, he wanted to smoke ganja, and when you smoke ganja, you become a criminal because police take you and put you in jail. But what he tried, he used his trick, and he said his friend to hold ganja, and he was smoking through his friend's hand. When the police came, they had a technique to find out who is smoking ganja. The one who smokes ganja, the ashes, they come in between the fingers and they all turn yellow. So you should check fingers. So when the police used to come, they should take hold of the person who was holding the ganja, but not smoking but holding. And they used to blame him and take him to jail. So this is what impersonalists are doing. They're using Gita and they're smalling Gita's message and speaking their own nonsense. We all know this one stupid guy, my Gita. What is my Gita? It's all nonsense. How you can say my Gita? There's only one Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad, spoken by Bhagavan, Kṛṣṇa. But people have their own different versions of Gita. Some dentists have say, dentist is Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna are the teeth, are the patient. And there's always some fighting going on. They have their own nonsense analogies, but not speaking the real truth. And that's the unfortunate situation in this Kali Yuga. So that's the thing. To leave Gita alone and accept his position. Bhaktya, take this position because this is the highest position. Don't try to become God. Become servant of God. And Prabhupada says that to be Kṛṣṇa's servant is the most exalted position. Why? King's servant stays in a palace. But Kṛṣṇa's servant, they stay in the material world. They stay in the spiritual world. Even though they are in the material world roaming here and there, they're still in the spiritual world. That's why we will never say that Prabhupada went back to Godhead. He was always in back to Godhead. He was always there. He was just coming here to give his message of Kṛṣṇa. So that's the position, and that's the most desirable position, the most exalted position. So this is what we need to achieve. And this is what we have got now. By mercy of Acharyas, we have got this beautiful understanding that Kṛṣṇa has beautiful form. And there is Bhagavad Gita, there is Bhāgavatam. So many nice pastimes. Kṛṣṇa is stealing butter, and the butter, if he gets butter, he goes freely, but when he doesn't get butter, he doesn't go empty-handed. He goes to the children, the small babies of the gopis, and pinch them, and they make huge noise. Sometimes he opens the small calf, and they go and drink the whole milk and empty everything. If he is not satisfied with that, he goes there and passes stool and urine. So just to give them trouble. And some people will say, how can God can do that? The question is, why he can't do that? Who are we to limit God? If we think that God should behave like this, it means that we know more than God, or we are beyond God. No. Kṛṣṇa is Swarat, a big Swarat. Nobody can hold opinion about him. And he is the way he is. And he is always God. In a small baby, even mischievous baby, he is always God. Because he does that to please and derive transcendental mellows between devotees, his intimate devotees. We cannot understand that because we are conditioned, we are judgmental, we are envious. So the more we serve Kṛṣṇa and his devotees, the more we get adhikar to go closer to the mountain, which is Kṛṣṇa, the absolute truth. Because it's all about adhikar. That's why we say Madhyam Adhikari, Kanishta Adhikari, and then Uttam Adhikari. Yeah? Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttama. Adhikari means they get, they are granted access in the devotional, realm. Kanishta, they don't get access. Kṛṣṇa, very good. You stay there. I like you, Kṛṣṇa, but I won't serve Kṛṣṇa. Why? Because I won't serve devotees. I'll say Kṛṣṇa is very nice, but I won't serve devotees. And this is very wrong, because if you don't have service attitude, you are impersonalist. Prabhupada says that Shantaras is very dangerous because you appreciate Kṛṣṇa, but you don't serve Kṛṣṇa. And that's impersonalism. That's why you have to move up. Dasyam is the basis of devotional service. So that's why Dasyam, service attitude. And when you say service to Kṛṣṇa and his devotees. Not only Kṛṣṇa and his devotees. And this is what Kanishta ignore. Hey, this is nonsense, this is nonsense, this is nonsense. But everybody is servant of Kṛṣṇa, he is devotee of Kṛṣṇa. How can he say it's nonsense? You are nonsense. One devotee, he was complaining to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, this guy, our president, he's a gone case. He's really too much. Like, you don't know, Prabhupada, how much I'm tolerating him. It's really, really nonsense. Srila Prabhupada replies to him, you tolerate him the way I am tolerating you. You tolerate him the way I am tolerating you. Everybody has issues, but we serve for a common cause, which is pleasing Kṛṣṇa. The whole purpose of this creation is to fulfill desire of Kṛṣṇa, not to fulfill our desires. Everything has a purpose. The purpose is not our purpose. The purpose is Kṛṣṇa's purpose. And everything is happening as per the sanction of the Lord. You like it or you don't like it. Sarva karana karanam. We say boldly. But when a situation comes, oh, how this can happen? Then it means you are judging Kṛṣṇa. You are trying to say Kṛṣṇa is wrong. Oh, why is so cold? Oh, why so many people? Just like now this fire is taking place in USA, and one news channel is labeled devil winds return. So this wind is not devil, you are devil. The wind is doing its real duty. You're killing animals, you're eating animals, yeah? You're doing all nonsense. And now the nature is taking revenge on you. But they don't understand. They say wind is devil. No, wind is doing its real duty, killing the rascals. But that's the vision who can have, only devotees can have. Not non-devotees. They will only judge because they are envious. They don't want the subordinate position. They want to be the master. But they can never be the master. They will be always servant. They will be serving their senses or they will be serving their dogs. Prabhupada says, the dog is standing on the side and the master says, oh, you pass your potty, I will be standing for you. If you don't serve God, you will serve dog. So that's the position and we have to accept that position. So unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. So why devotees are struggling? They are not steady in devotional service. Why? Main reason, they are not firmly convinced of the opulences of the Lord. That Kṛṣṇa is sarva karana karanam. Kṛṣṇa is all pervading. Nityo nityanam. Eko bhavanam yo vidadhatikam. Kṛṣṇa is maintaining everyone. They are not convinced. And that's why they are not surrendered. And that's why they cannot perform devotional service. So how to know Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? By hearing. Nityam bhagavata sevaya. How great he is, how beautiful he is, how strong he is, how renounced he is. We have to hear about it again and again. Only then we will know God is great. Not by saying that God is great, but to know in detail how he is great. And this is what we have. Kṛṣṇa explains opulences now. He's setting the scene. How great he is. Who are demigods? And he is beyond demigods. Those who worship demigods, they are less intelligent. And more less intelligent are the impersonalists. And then further says, so I do not reveal myself to these foolish and unintelligent people. I reveal only to my devotees. Only to my devotees. Then further things come. So mama yo veti tattvataha, so avikalpena yogena. So the one who knows Kṛṣṇa as it is, only they can perform devotional service. And that's why Tyaktam deham punarjanma naiti mamso ite Arjuna. Janma karma cha med divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. Those who know how God is great, only these people can go back to Godhead. Because they can be steady in devotional service. So if you are struggling to be steady, hear more about Kṛṣṇa. If you are struggling to chant, hear more about Kṛṣṇa. When we hear about Kṛṣṇa, it's attractive. It's not boring. It's wonderful. We see how really personal he is with his devotees. How caring he is with his devotees. How beautiful his plans are. How beautiful his arrangements are. And this will melt our heart, and this is how we'll develop more and more appreciation of Kṛṣṇa. And when we chant Hare Krishna, we'll remember this. And we'll chant with more dedication, with more taste. That's why hear more about Kṛṣṇa. Because this Mayavadi philosophy of impersonalism, they have created void in our lives. Everything is mechanical, there is no person. Nature is working on its own. The creation takes place by destruction, Big Bang. All voidist philosophy. And that's why there is void in people's life. And how they fill up this void? By adding cinemas, pornography, nonsense, drinking. Because the void is there. because they have incomplete understanding of the absolute truth. So when you give this mallows, that Kṛṣṇa is so beautiful, Kṛṣṇa is so charming, then they won't need these movies. They won't need this distraction. They won't fill their life with this nonsense. They'll fill with their lives with service, with shravan, with kirtanam, with preaching. This is how we can, fill our life. And there was a nice quote I heard. I'll just read for you. Wait a sec. This is from lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 1:16-24 in Hawaii. Any moment, any time you spend for thinking of Kṛṣṇa, working for Kṛṣṇa, chanting for Kṛṣṇa, eating for Kṛṣṇa, dancing for Kṛṣṇa, that time is saved. That time is saved. Therefore it is recommended Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau naste, eva naste gatiranyatha. So if you want to save your time, fill it with Kṛṣṇa, not with anything else, not with anything nonsense. No time pass, nothing. No movies, nothing. More Kṛṣṇa. Because Kṛṣṇa is sarva akarshani. He attracts through his name, through his form, through his activities. We have to just give time to hearing. So the more we hear, the more fixed we are in devotional service. And this is how we can go back to Godhead. Not through this impersonalism and becoming less intelligent and continuing our existence in this material world. That's why Prabhupada Nirvashesha Shunyavadi. Prabhupada went in the Western country, destroying this impersonalism and Shunyavad, atheism. So we also have to do that by guiding people and telling them the truth, by giving them the books. You want to know God? Here are our books. Read Bhagavatam, read Chaitanya Charitamrita, read Bhagavad Gita. You'll get all information about God. Because nobody else has that. We have that. And we are blessed to have that. So it's nice. So thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So any questions? Any comments?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. A small clarification I would like to ask. Amongst the 18 Puranas what we have, there is one Bhagavad Purana. And our Bhagavad Gita is also referred as a Bhagavad Gita.
It's Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is referred as Upanishad. Gita Upanishad. Because there is Shruti and there is Smriti. So Kṛṣṇa spoke Bhagavad Gita himself. So that's why it comes in Shruti. So it's Upanishad. And there's Puranas, Vishnu Purana, Puranas in mode of ignorance, passion and goodness. But Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. So that's why in all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is glorified. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, only Kṛṣṇa is glorified. It's the main essence. And Bhagavatam is the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So Ved means Puranas and Shruti and Smriti. And the essence of all the Vedas is Vedanta. Vedanta. And the commentary on Vedanta is Srimad Bhagavatam. So it fulfills everything. And it's our real friend. Srila Sanatana Goswami says, Eka Bandhu Bhagavatam. He used to always carry with him Srimad Bhagavatam. And now we are more advanced, we can carry the whole Bhagavatam in our mobile, in our tablet, and we can carry everywhere and we can read. But we don't do that. We see YouTube and other stuff. So that's why we have to really bring revolution in our life so that we can use this facility and hear more about Kṛṣṇa. So, the doubt is clear, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, thanks for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Normally when it's said Kṛṣṇa is Satchid Ananda Vigaraha, when it's said, so how do we explain to some person if they ask how Kṛṣṇa is? When we say Satchid Ananda is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. So how should one explain? He say he's in human form, yes, in a form is like human, but he's Satchid Ananda. So how can we little elaborate it?
So we have to understand that when you talk about form, okay, Kṛṣṇa's form is not an ordinary form. We have to understand Kṛṣṇa's form is full of transcendental mellows. And there is no difference between his body and himself. It's all one. Here in the conditioned world, the jivas, they have dual existence. They are separate from their body. So, and to our situation, we cannot understand Krishna's situation. Our body is miserable. Krishna's body is not miserable. That's why he was looking fresh, nava yovanam cha, even though he was 125 years old on the battlefield, because he never gets old. All are his pastimes to give pleasure to his devotees and to bewilder non-devotees. These are his pastimes. So, Sat Chit Ananda, it's eternal. We will die, who will remember us? Krishna is being remembered throughout the ages. Sat Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. All these ages, they glorify Krishna. Chit, full of understanding. And Ananda, full of bliss. We are not, we are Asat, Achit and Ananda because we identify with this body. Once we identify with our position that I am servant of this Satchidananda Vigraha, we don't get affected by the dualities of life. So everything is here is relative. Hot, AC chalu karo, oh, pasina. Cold, oh, heater. We get affected by these dualities. The one who is focused, who is he? It doesn't bother him. He knows who he is. And he's focused. And previously, the personality, they used to do tapasya. They used to go in the forest. They should just survive on seeds, flowers and herbs. And that's it, and water. But now this is not possible for these Kali Yuga people. Prabhupada says in Purport, through devotional service to Krishna, you can achieve that. Focus. And you won't be affected by the relative things. Matra spashashtu kontaya, sitoshna sukha dukkata. Be sthira. You should not get affected by hot and cold, happiness and distress, profit and gain. You should be sthira. Because it's all relative. Relative means related to your body, not to you. You have nothing to do with that. You are just an observer. Whatever is happening in our life, we are just observer. We are seeing our karmas getting passed by. But if you see, oh, this is me, then you get entangled in that karma. So we are just observers because we know our position is to serve Krishna. So the more we are engaged in services, the more we transcend his bodily conception. And by seeing such personalities who are at the age of 80, just like when we were saying His Holiness Gopalakrishna Maharaj, it was like feeling that his body is behind and he is moving ahead. He's dragging his body. The body says, Ho gaya, I cannot do. But his focus on devotional service was such that getting up early in the Mangala Aarti, coming for worship, doing everything, pushing the body. Why? Because his focus in his relationship, Satchitananda. He's realized that relationship. And this is how they push. They're not affected by everything in this material world, the relative things in the material world. So by that we can explain how they are transcendental. And Krishna is more beyond that. And Krishna is the source of all this potency. Paurusham Rishu. Krishna gives you ability. So this is how we make them understand in general level, because if you talk about Krishna is all beautiful, they cannot understand that. Because you have to understand through becoming bhakta. So we try to explain them how we are getting affected negatively through this material world, the material arrangement. And then we shift them to higher understanding. And once they engage in devotional service, because it's better to do more service than to so-called trying to become a scholar or getting knowledge. Because Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashito. You might have read everything, but Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashito. Through mercy of Krishna, everything is revealed. And there's a shlok. If one has firm faith in Guru and Krishna, all the purports of the Vedas are revealed within his heart. All the purports. So we have to bring that person to that stage. By slowly. Not that higher level of Krishna. Yes, Krishna is supreme. That's settled. How is supreme? That takes a process. And service is the right media. And in service, Shravanam comes, which is chanting Hare Krishna. So this is how we can do that, step by step. And those who are ignorant or who are, unfortunate, we should help them, not the envious. We should reject them. Oh. Very good, go ahead. Go ahead. So this is the way. Okay, bro.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
Like Shastra says that Krishna resides in everyone in the
Heart.
form of Paramatma. So why our nature is not like Satchidanand? Because Krishna is residing within us as well, right? In the form of Paramatma.
Yeah, but our existence is different from his existence. When he comes, he doesn't have dual existence. This is what I was explaining. We have a dual existence because we have forgotten our position. Krishna doesn't forget when he comes in the material world. The jiva forgets why he has come in the material world. And he just fulfills his desires to enjoy. So that's why he is just fulfilling his desires. But Krishna is not affected by these modes. Devi asa gunmai mam maya durataya. This Devi energy is difficult to overcome. But one who takes shelter of Krishna, he can overcome this maya. So once we take shelter, then we come to that stage, Satchitananda. In the material world, it will be reflected the way you won't be affected by any material situation, worse to worse. You won't be affected by that. You will be focused, sthita pragya, what you have to do. This is the result of Satchitananda, what we are talking about. We cannot exhibit our spiritual body and something like that. It's not possible here. But Krishna is not in our category. He is in different category. He comes because without him, you cannot remember what you have to do. Sarva Sacha Amriti Sanishto Matha Smritid. He gives you remembrance, what you have to do. Apohanam. He makes you forget what you were before. He gives you knowledge. He gives you everything so that you can do that. So he is doing his role and we are doing our role. We are trying to enjoy the fruits. The parrot on the tree is enjoying the fruit and one is just looking at him. Just waiting for the parrot to turn to him. And once it turns to him, then he gives him guidance. And then there is oneness of goal. He knows his position, he knows his understanding, and they all work, they dovetail their consciousness and then they work accordingly. So what you are asking that, why we are not able to do that? Because we have lost our Krishna consciousness. Once we realize that, then there will be dovetailing. Then there will be equalness, which will be visible through activities of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada was totally Krishna conscious. Prabhupada was asked, "Oh, can you see Krishna? Oh, can you hear Krishna?" Prabhupada said, "Yes, I can hear Krishna. I can hear his flute. I can see him." And the disciple is saying, "Oh, he was explaining that it's a metaphor." Krishna, "No, I can see Krishna," Prabhupada says. I can see Krishna. So that's the level what we are talking about. But to come to that level, like the Narada Muni was able to see Krishna, even in this material body, you can see Krishna. Not you have to be liberated. Liberated is a stage where you realize your position. So that thing will come after so much purification and by mercy of Krishna. Krishna might give you darshan. To Narada Muni, he gave darshan only once. He said, now you are not eligible. You will get darshan only once. Now you have to purify and then you will be with me. But Dhruv Maharaj, he gave darshan like continuously. And he gave benediction, he did everything. So within this material world also, you can get darshan of Krishna. You have to just develop Krishna consciousness. So that stage will come, but by mercy of Krishna. But now, as long as we are bodily conditioned, we cannot. And those who are faking that, "Oh, I'm God," they are contaminated. And then there was one more. Krishna comes in my dream, he pulls my skirt and this and that, sahajiyas. They are also contaminated. Both are contaminated. So that's why we have to take the essence and that's it. Dedicate our life to that. Our life is short. How much life we have? If you talk about life, how much energy we have? We are not full of energy throughout the day. So less energy we have. But the more we do that, we are really saving ourselves. Everything for Krishna. Everything for Krishna. And we have a very nice arrangement here in Krishna Balram temple. We have very nice senior devotees who through their activities are showing that example, how you can be engaged in Krishna consciousness, not wasting even our time. If we stay with them, hear from them, serve them, we will get that mercy and we will be able to do that. Just stay with devotees. Everything will work out. Don't go away from devotees. Once you go away from devotees, then you are bereft of everything. So we pray to the Lordship that Rakho bhi maru bhi jo tumhari iksha, but keep us with devotees. And then they are our saving grace and we can go back to Godhead together. So thank you. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. Hare Krishna.